Gemini, welcome to your reading. I'm Natalie, and this is the Moon Shadow Garden. I give readings about tarot, astrology, sometimes runes. This is your reading for August. Gemini. Some of you are going through a bit of a heartbreak time. Not all of you, but there are some of you out there who have a hurting heart and who have trouble breathing properly, trouble sleeping, trouble grieving, essentially. So everything that has to do with the lungs, your skin, sometimes it's even problems with letting the grieving process come over you, like crying in public or even crying about something by yourself is hard or is so overwhelming that you don't know how to exist in public. So that's what I feel for part of you, for some of you. Others, more like smooth sailing. The transition from water to fire, from Cancer to Leo, can be a challenge for some of you. But for others, it's totally not. It's totally easy. And the way you prepared yourself for Leo season with your projects, with your intuition, with your structured planning, your goal setting. If you're somebody who has been setting their goals in Cancer season quite clearly, it will benefit you in Leo season because you're kind of getting a head start of the rest of the game. So this is just what I feel is coming up in general. And now let's look at the cards and see what's in the cards for you. Options, and a bit of confusion of what to pick. Not the worst card to start out with. So 7 of Cups really asks you to take a moment and really consider which way, which path, which options are really helping you on your way and which are just demons in disguise, so to say. Not that I believe in demons, but you know what I mean. It's more like look at things over a longer period of time. Give yourself some time to really consider what is good for you and what isn't. Because initially, some things that might seem really nice maybe aren't, and vice versa. So some things in your life I feel like take more time, more energy, more planning, but they turn out to be more beneficial than you thought and more prosperous. So really don't just randomly pick your projects for the month. Give it some time so you can decide what to do. And then there's also you, since you're having an easier time than the rest of the signs. And if you look at the rest of the readings, you'll see a lot of tower moments in here. I think it might be time for you to give out a hand for some friends and really be there for somebody who really needs you, like my autofocus isn't working. You have the proper amount of resources to really give other people a hand. Maybe somebody needs some money. Maybe you can help somebody out with like buying them some dinner or coffee. Even the most tiniest kind of gesture is huge for somebody else in your vicinity, somebody in your circle. You're really on top of your game. So even if I feel like if you're part of the group who is going through some heartbreak, you're managing it really well. And the other part of you guys, you Geminis, is just on top of your game. I would love to be a Gemini at the moment. You're like my opposite, since I'm a Sagittarius, so I think we're kind of connected. But and even better. Come on, this is super duper. You make everyone envious. Maybe that's something that comes up too, is that people are like, how do you do it? How is it that your life is so good? And it's so good because you've been taking care of the people around you. You are very selective with your company. You're not somebody who's just friends with someone so you have another person in your friends list. You're very selective, and so the people who are really close to you, the people you consider soul family, they're really trustworthy. We have some doggies in here. Dogs are always a sign of trust and loyalty. Good. So you're transitioning really easily into Leo season, just like I felt you would. I feel like after you've made your choice in the beginning, after the 7 of Cups, looking at the many cups here that we had, this card here, after that, if you choose, you're so grounded, so centered, so you're so happy to be out of Cancer season, to be honest, that you're just grateful that you get to work and you are becoming very prosperous in your in your life at the moment. It feels like there is some settling down, there is some hard work that you did in the preparation, so it doesn't come out of nowhere. But now it's sort of coming to fruition. Something is blooming. Good. This is August as it should be. And when you took your first decision, the upcoming decisions are more difficult to take. So I feel like you kind of say something like, well, I already decided something. I don't want to make another decision this month, but you have to. And I feel this is an emotional decision where you have to sort of pick sides, and you don't like to pick sides. Since you're a Gemini and there are two of you, you kind of always are able to see both sides of something, and there is a situation where you will be asked of your opinion and you really can see both sides and you don't want to pick a side. That can bring you into a very difficult situation. On the other hand, that is something that people really admire about you, is that you are not just somebody who throws out their opinion without giving it another thought, a second thought. You are somebody who's really empathetic, and it's easy for you to stand in somebody else's shoes to really imagine what their position is. And watch out, there might be the situation where somebody else wants you to pick a side, and that's not your forte. Your forte is to, yes, thank you, Ravens, we know. Your forte is to stay in that grounded position. You really hold your space. A lot of kings and queens in here. That just is your realm. So don't give too much energy in the whole kind of, I don't know if it's drama, but it's just somebody wants your opinion, and you really cannot help them in the way that they want to. You know how some friends come to you to gossip about somebody and all they want is like, yes, that person is bad, you did well. They just want their confirmation on their own opinion, and you're not giving it to them, and there might be some disappointment from them. But really, that is what you do best, and you just keep focusing on the things that are prosperous for you. This is so good. You really have a spring in your step. There's this lightness about you, like a beginner's spirit, like a child who really starts out something without giving it too much thought. So there is this kind of light emotions, light, everything is kind of magical, you know, the way it's the Midas touch. Everything that you touch becomes gold because you're not forcing it. It's just you're on a roll right now. This is just a tremendous good reading in comparison, especially in comparison to the rest of us. Gemini, you really have a really good month. Slowly we head towards Virgo season. If you don't take a break, you will be forced to take a break. So even with this whole, you know, everything is in the flow, everything is good, take time to just look at everything that you've accomplished so far. Look at the people who really want to drag you on one side, or to their side, to be clear. Maybe you want to go a little no contact with them. Maybe there is a break that you should take with talking to them, or just giving them your attention. They have to go through their stuff alone for the time being, and you cannot afford to give them any of your attention, otherwise it'll slow you down even more. And the next Queen card. So really your month is all about taking your place, taking your place, taking your place. The Queen of Wands is even more about, after taking that sort of break, retrospection, looking at what worked this month and what hasn't. The Queen of Wands really knows about the stuff that doesn't work and the maybe darker stuff about everything. Behind the veil, there's this little kitty here. So she knows about the darker parts of the world, but really it's all about looking into the future and seeing how can you even become more creative. There's a creative side to you that really gets to play. Everything is very playful here. So I think the best advice I can give you is to keep it light, keep it playful. Nothing too stern, nothing too strict, don't force it. Nothing has to be forced this month. Everything comes with sitting calmly and just letting things flow. So easy. Everything is so easy. Didn't I just say letting things flow? Two of Pentacles is the juggler. So even if things may seem like a little chaotic, a little bit too much on the table, a little bit you don't know where things are going, it's very easy, very lightly for you to just juggle the things that are well for you. So a lot of Pentacles and Cups in here. Very stable, very prosperous, but also very emotionally stable. Only one sword card here, which is, having to take a side, which is not what you want to do. And then, as we really jump into Virgo season, this is even further, where maybe some harsher words, some harsher discussions, some harsher, for you harsh, conversations need to be had with certain people before you go into Virgo season, because Virgo season is very discerning. It's very much about, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to let this go. And as we go into Virgo season, this already starts. So the King of Swords really is somebody who is very dividing stuff, especially with his words, his opinion, it's mental leadership, and it's harsh. Sometimes it's strict. It's not somebody who really is into compromises. There's not much compromising with you towards the end of August. I feel like you're very clear with what you want and what you don't want, and the thing is to communicate it gracefully, surely, securely. This is it. You're very, very affirmative in your own opinion. Great reading, Gemini. Great reading. Okay, let's look at the cards as I see them. Okay, Gemini, here we are back again with your reading, and let's go through the cards once more. So in the beginning of the month, you very much have to decide about what situations, what projects, what path you will pick for the month, because not everything is as it seems. So really take your time before you decide which path you really want to walk on. And then once the decision is made, you really are, let's say, a lot more stable this month than the rest of the signs. So there might be friends, there might be family members, there might be people in your life who really could use a hand, maybe $1 here or there. And since you're more stable than the rest of us, that's really a good moment to deepen some friendships and some connections. Because as I've said, you're more stable than the rest of us. This is where the King of Cups comes in. This is somebody, or you're somebody at this moment who is very stable with their emotions, who is very on top of things. While the rest of us is more struggling with the transition, you're not as much. You're on top of the game. And also you work very hard and you're very discerning with the people who you consider family, who you consider soul family and your tribe. And these people are really loyal to you. So there's a sense of safety in your surroundings. There's a sense of stability that you do not have to fight for every day. And that is really something that you can relax into. Talking about relaxing into, the Queen of Pentacles is absolutely about relaxing into everything that works. So her focus, if you look at her gaze, goes towards the pentacle. So really focusing on everything that works and being very grateful. And this is how a certain lightness, a certain sense of ease comes into her presence. And this is also what you should be doing. The other thing is that, yes, there will be, looking at this card again, there might be people coming up who really need your decision, who really just maybe want your opinion on something, and your opinion mostly is very balanced, and that might not always be what they're looking for. They're just looking for somebody to back up their opinion, and if you're giving them your honest opinion, that might be a bit of a disappointment or not what they were looking for. Just be aware that that is not your fault. You're not here to take a side. You're literally here to see both sides and be the combination of both. Second time Again, look at his gaze. His gaze goes towards the pentacles. So really, again, enjoying everything that works for you. These two are very similar. The King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles are very much reveling in everything that works for them. It's just that the King is a little bit more stubborn about it. So you have kind of that Taurus moment, that's earthy stability. So everything that gives you safety, everything that gives you a sense of, well, home, tribe, family, financial security, everything that feels like that is what you want to move towards to, but not in a forcing kind of way. It's more easygoing, like a child would do it. Approach it in a way that is very lighthearted, very easygoing, and you will be just fine. There is a time and a space for everything, and there is a time and a space for rest. So while we're slowly turning towards Virgo season, there might be a time and a moment where you feel a little bit stuck, and use that time to just regenerate. And I'm not talking about a very long time. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3 days or something. But if there are negative thoughts coming up where you just think like, oh, nothing is moving, nothing is going on, this is the reason why. Just let it pass. Let it pass, because you will be moving into action soon enough. If you look at the Queen of Wands and her little kitty down there, there's a lot of knowledge that you get out of that kind of Hanged Man card down here. Now, as I look at her throne, her throne is literally 2 lions. So this is you on top of Leo season. I feel like you're really the queen of this season. This is where you even get more energy and more force to put things into action. And even though, looking back at the beginning, maybe you look back and see how many projects there still are to juggle, you are really juggling them quite easily. So if you look at this, there might be a little turbulence going in the background. If there's water, that's mostly a sign of emotions. There might be a little bit of chaos going on in the background, but you're really on top of it. You manage it so easily. And then as we jump into Virgo season, so maybe somebody needs to have a talk or you need to have a talk with somebody. Things that are not really easy to talk about, but they need to be said, and they need to be very clear so you can move clearly into the next season. Okay, well, that is an excellent reading, Gemini. Good for you. And that has been your reading. Okay, Gemini, that has been your reading for August. Thank you so much for watching. If you got something from this video, please share it. Please subscribe to the channel, join the community, join the Moon Shadow Garden, and we will talk and see each other again in Virgo season. Bye-bye.